Yes, y'all. Seconds out. MMA, Pub Sports Radio. Don't worry about the other shows. We the best out. MMA Locker Room right here. I got my co-host Billy Briz. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Millz. Fight Eve. You know, we got a special guest today. I'm excited for the special guest. She made me a lot of fucking money a month ago.
Oh, definitely. Before we get to that, yeah, definitely, man. She made us a lot of money, man. We don't like to let the cat out the bag yet, though. We got a special guest, so you guys might want to tune in. I'm talking about, one of the best female ranked fighters out there, 34 ranked best female strawweight in the world. I mean, Invicta strawweight champion coming off one of the most devastating viral knockouts that we've seen in 2021. I mean, go ahead. You want to introduce and let the people know who we got backstage now?
Yeah, man. Coming off of, I would say, early candidate for knockout of the year, regardless of whatever organization, the Invicta champion herself, Emily Ducote.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just easy Friday.
Easy Friday. I like to hear that. So we like to do a timestamp over here. Right now, I'm located in Long Beach, California. It's roughly around 1:07 p.m. Billy Briz, where are you at? What time is it?
South Jersey, 4:05 p.m. It's getting close to the evening.
And Emily?
Oklahoma City, 3:05.
There we go. All right. So yeah, I just have a few questions to ask and, to get the people familiar with you and everything. So first off, I just want to know, some people become lawyers when they grow up. Some people become, teachers and doctors and, athletes and artists. What made you become an MMA fighter?
Honest to God, my grandparents are the reason behind it. I used to watch the UFC fights with them when I was a kid. She convinced my mom to put me in Taekwondo, and it just spiraled. I went into wrestling, moved to Oklahoma, and ended up in MMA.
Got it. So when you said it was your grandparents and stuff, right?
Right.
So do you remember like the first exact fight that you saw, or the first experience that you came across that you knew already, hey, this is me, this is my calling right here?
I don't remember exactly the first fight, but I know that they, like my grandparents, love Uriah Faber. They were, because I'm from California, so they'd always be like, the California kid, you've got to train with him, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up moving to Oklahoma later on, but they just loved him. And I've met him and got a picture with him for my grandparents, and they love it. And it clicked. The lifestyle clicked for me. I liked the routine, the dedication, and I love doing it. So it was an easy choice.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, coming out of San Jose, California, I mean, hey, who's not a Uriah fan, right?
Right.
So why not make a move over and train with them over there at Team Alpha Male?
I was in Oklahoma when I decided to join a gym and take my first fight, and me and my coach just clicked. I liked the routine, like I said, and he's very disciplined, and I just liked that. And so I could have easily moved back home, and I never wanted to. I'll go and travel and train with other girls and other camps in other states, and I always want to come back home. And that's just how it's always been. I just like having my home gym here, and I have a bunch of girls that I get to go and train with. So why move?
I hear you on that. Speaking of, being training partners and everything like that. So you started off in Bellator, couple of wins in there, a couple of losses in there, but some of the people that you fought in your career, I mean, it's the who's in there. Leo McFarlane in there. Bellator, two-time champ, With that being said, though, when you came over to Invicta, I feel like this was like the perfect move, for your career and everything. And I think it actually helped you grow a little bit too. How do you feel like Invicta helped you pretty much grow in your career?
Right. Yeah. So I was with Bellator 8 fights at 125, though. That's the key. That's not my weight class. Before Bellator, I was 115, and I got an opportunity to fight for them 125, and I couldn't pass that up. So I did that, and signed with them because I beat that girl and stayed 8 fights, fought for the belt, and then decided, I need to move back to 115 and really, get back on track with my career. So Shannon pulled me and has been phenomenal. I cannot say enough good things about her. I feel like as a matchmaker, she's the best I've ever worked for or seen or heard about. She respects the athletes enough to match you up appropriately and not just try to set people up like with easy wins. So I feel like that's not how everyone does things. So I really respect her in that sense. And Invicta has been an amazing home for me the last 2 years. And I have grown and I've got my career back on track with them. And I've enjoyed every step with Invicta. It's a professional, truly a professional show.
Do you feel like your Invicta days are coming close to the end? Because that viral knockout that you had last month, I personally think that's good enough to get you signed to the UFC. When is the legit call up coming up to the UFC? That's what all the fans want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you. I haven't heard anything. I have a manager. We're talking to Shannon and we're trying to figure out what's next. I always said that I was not in a rush to leave Invicta because I want to be ready. And I do feel like I'm very, very close to being where I want to be to move up to the UFC. My goal has always been to fight the very best, and that is the UFC strawweight division. So, of course, that's my goal. I do feel like it's close. I don't know if that's next. I don't know when it is, but I know it's close, and I just need to kind of see what opportunity is coming next.
Yeah, let's speak about it. I mean, now you're a champion, so, how does that belt feel around your waist? Because, I remember the picture. It seemed like it was a little bit big when you put it on. Did they adjust the size yet?
It's kind of heavy. It is. It's a heavy belt. But it's amazing to have it. That was my 3rd title fight. It was a long journey to get it. And I'm so, so, so happy and relieved that I was able to, finish the fight, no judges involved, and just kind of take that belt home and be done with it.
Yeah, no judges involved. That's been kind of like the hinder right there. 3 of these fights right now, were close decisions that you do have losses in your career. That could have went either way. It would have been a whole different story right now. But, hey, the story and the journey turned out right because now you're a champion. And like you said, you feel like you needed the experience. I definitely feel like you have that experience now because I'm looking at the other fighters in your division right now and in Invicta, and I really don't even know who's the next opponent for you to defend your title against. Do you have anybody in mind, or is Invicta presenting anybody for you that they even have in mind?
I honestly haven't heard any names, any options, anything. That's kind of, we haven't really talked to Shannon yet about kind of like, if we were to stay, who would I fight? Or, what she's got in mind kind of for me. So I'm not sure yet. And I don't know, thinking about the division, I also don't know who has enough fights, because a lot of people have either passed through quickly or, just don't have the fights yet. So I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'd be curious to know. I hope we're able to get kind of Shannon to answer some of these pretty soon, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, got it. And then
I definitely do feel you.
Since we're speaking about other organizations real quick, quick question. What separates you from the other 115-pound fighters in the other organizations out there?
I think just experience. A lot of other organizations outside of the UFC, they have 115ers, but they don't have a lot of fights. They're kind of like, not inexperienced, but 3, 4, 5 fights, and then they get sent elsewhere, or it's just experience. I've got a lot of fights. I've been fighting for a minute here, and I think a lot of people quickly move on instead of take the time, fight the hard fights. I think a lot of people just they just want to be in the UFC and didn't really think it through, because when you get there, there's no easy fights. So what are you going to do then?
Definitely will agree with you on that one there, Emily. Though, in your time off until we see you in your next fight, what should the fight fans be looking out for? What are you developing? What skills are you adding to the arsenal?
I said before my fight that I was just working on combining everything. I have all these skill sets, and in all my fights, you don't always see all of them together. Sometimes in one fight, you'll see striking, some fight you'll see grappling, and I'm just trying to put it all together because I have all the skills. I just haven't yet put them all together in a single fight. So that's my goal, is to just get everything sharp and show everything, all my skills in my next fight. And I feel like I'm really close to that. And so I'm just excited. I mean, it's obviously, it's a journey. So not every fight's going to be perfect. You know, some fights are going to be gritty. Some fights are going to be tough. Some fights are going to just, I mean, I'm so happy that I was able to finish quickly this last fight, but it's not always like that. So I'm just trying to sharpen everything and get it ready to use all my skills.
Well, special thanks to you last month. You won me a lot of money. The sports books were disrespecting you. They only had you at minus 140, so you only had to pay $140 to bank 100. And there was a UFC card the same exact night. The play of the day was Emily Ducote on the money line. And what did you do? Viral knockout sensation. Everybody put off the UFC card and went over to Invicta, man. It was a great night. I would like to say thank you for making my money and let me spend some.
Good. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time I am the underdog, which, I mean, I think that's due to me fighting like these high-level girls. You know, I'm not out fighting nobody, so I'm always fighting a big name or a big girl. So I feel like they always think that because I have a matchup with a good person, they always think, oh, the other girl is going to do this. They never really think about me, you know, but I've been fighting these tough girls for a minute, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. My man Billy over there, you got a super fan over there. So for that day that happened, he called me and he asked me, and I said, hey, man, I'm like, I would go with Ducote. I'm like, I can't bet her on my book, but that's the pick right there. And, you know, it came through because I said I think it was when COVID came. I think it was 2019 or something. I really got introduced to you then, too, to where I was like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm a big fan of this fighter right here. I love when you go in the cage and the way that you fight. That's a fighter that, for the people out there that bet, those are the fighters that you want to have your money on.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It's no quitter in there. You know, she's going to go out there and give her all the way out to the bell rings and everything. So since we're talking about sharpening your skills and everything in the cage, what's one of your favorite strikes or submissions to do during a fight?
You know, submission-wise, I like the arm. I've gone for that in several fights. Or the rear naked choke. That's probably the two of my favorite submissions. And then just striking, probably the right hand. You know, I throw that a lot. I try to land it. I try to be more comfortable with everything. But those things are probably my favorite things to do.
Got it. I'm a fan of my right hand too. So, you know, I hear you on that one. I like my right hand as well. I don't know who I put him up against, but hey, I like the right hand. So if you could have a dream fight out there, I mean, who would it be with and why? And not just as of right now. Let's just say if we had to go back in time. But who would it be and why?
That's hard for me because I never really pick opponents. I never call anyone out because the fights always come to me at some point. You know, Shannon's always going to call me and give me a name. I never really have a say in it, and I never really say no. So I don't really have a specific name, but you know, anybody in the UFC, I'd really, really like to fight the best of the best, and so that's anybody in the strawweight division.
The betting community always has a different push on fighters. I don't know what it is, but the Twitter community for MMA is always jumping. I think you can go straight to the UFC today. I don't think you need to go to the Contender Series or anything like that. What would be your special message for Dana White if he was right in front of you today?
Yeah, I know I'm close. I would think Dana or whoever would have saw the knockout, which is exciting. That it got so much coverage because that does, like you said, it makes my job a little bit easier to get their attention. And so I think, I don't think I need to do a contender. I don't think I need to do anything. If I'm going to do anything, it's going to be fight for Shannon in Invicta, or it'll be the UFC. And I know one day I'll be in the UFC, so there's no rush.
That's what we love to hear from the betting markets.
Yep. So I like to do this thing called Remember the Night, Remember the Fight. Do you remember the night that Amanda Nunes knocked out Ronda Rousey? Do you remember that fight?
Yes, I want to say yes. I don't know when, but I remember the finish.
Do you remember this fight? girl named JJ versus Zhang. One of the most iconic fights of all.
Zhang and JJ.
Joanna Jacek.
Oh yes, yeah, Joanna, yes.
the biggest iconic women's fight.
Yes, of course.
I like to say one of the biggest fights of all. I don't even label it one of the biggest women's fight at all. I like to say
that was one of the best fights. Yeah.
Right. So do you remember that night and watching that, or anything when you were watching those fights and when that was happening, that you embodied like those reactions to where, because sometimes when I watch superhero movies, I feel like a superhero. I want to put a cape on.
Yeah, I remember that fight. I remember the fight being like super, super, super good. Those are my favorite fights. The high level, technical, beautiful to watch type fights. Everyone loves a good brawl every once in a while, but if I had to choose, I'd rather watch like a technical battle. And that's exactly what that was for sure. I mean, obviously Joanna was bruised, but that was a technical back and forth. And I've watched that several times since then. That was a good fight.
Depends if I have money on the fight or not. If I have money on the fight, I want that person to get the quickest possible knockout ever. If I don't have money on the fight, yeah, I'll take the technical striking, technical fight. There's a fight, I think it's this weekend. It is Lupi Godinez. What are your thoughts on Lupi?
Yeah, obviously Lupi lost her debut. She fought Penne, which is a tough fight on your debut. She looked good though. It was a really close fight. She's obviously, I feel like, more of a striker, doesn't really want to go to the ground. So that'll be good. The girl she's fighting used to fight at 125, so it's interesting that she's dropped down, and I'd be curious to see if that helps her or harms her. And I think it's going to be a striking fight because neither of them are grapplers, neither of them try to hit the ground, so this is going to be a straight up striking battle.
I like that insight on that fight. What'd you say, Millz?
Oh, no, I was saying, no, good thing, because that's exactly what I was leading to, because this fight right here takes place in your division, and on top of it, she got caught up on short notice. I thought if anybody would have got caught up on short notice, it would have been you. Would you have answered that call?
Yeah, of course. I'm signed with Invicta, so that's kind of, I'm under contract, so I understand why I didn't get the call up, but yeah, that girl was supposed to fight the contender next week, and she was already in Vegas and already cutting weight, so that made sense. It did make sense, and I would definitely take a short notice opportunity. However, I don't think I need to with the position that I'm in. So I'm curious to see these fights, and I will be watching every single 115 fight for sure.
Speaking of that one, we got the main event coming up. I like this one a lot myself. We got Marina Rodriguez versus Mackenzie Dern right now. How do you see this fight taking place, and who do you think is going to win? Mackenzie Dern opens up the minus 170 favorite.
Yeah, I really, really like this matchup. Mackenzie Dern obviously is a beast on the ground, but what makes this really interesting is that she's not scared to strike. So if Marina does not knock Mackenzie out, she will run through punches, take her down, and I think finish her on the ground. So, yes. I mean, Marina obviously is smart, so I would think she would do all possible to avoid that. However, Mackenzie will walk through it. So if she doesn't knock her out, it's Mackenzie.
Mackenzie by submission is what you're saying, right?
I think so.
All right, that's one I might have to go to the window with after we get done this interview.
Love it. See, so what we're going to do right now, too, we're just going to wrap it up, too. We already have one leg down in a parlay, so we're going with Mackenzie Dern with Emily. And then are you going with Lupita in that fight as well?
I'm going to go Lupi. I think it will be like a very tough, I think probably decision. But they're both strikers. The only difference is Silvana uses kicks. Lupi doesn't really. So it's going to be kind of like boxing versus kickboxing. But I do think Lupi, I just think she's a little bit stronger, a little bit packs more power. But it could be either way. But I'm going to say Lupi decision. Got it. And then last but not least, hey, women fighters delight, women's delight. We got 3 fight cards, 3 women fighting on this card right now. The next one, I'm a big fan of this one myself. Sabina Mazo taking on Maria Agapova. And this one, I believe Sabina Mazo's coming back down because she moved up weight classes in her last fight. How do you see this one taking place? I think Mazo finish in the second or the third. She's just such a clean striker, and she obviously has that kick that everyone knows about, but then everyone gets hit with it. So I think Agapova needs to not be wild like she sometimes tends to be, but I think Mazo finished TKO second or third.
I'm
I
loving
gotta
it.
go
I'm
against
loving
you
this.
there, man. Maria
I'm loving
Agapova
it.
on the money line this week. Let's go. Underdog money,
No,
man.
no, no.
That's
We'll
gonna
see.
get
Let's
that's
go,
We'll
gonna get us
see.
Mazo.
paid real nice.
Mazo.
But your
I'm
We'll
two
loving
leg
see.
parlay of Dern and Lupi Godinez is -101. If you won the play stat at the sports books, $100 would win you 100 back. So you would win $200 if you tailed Emily Ducote's UFC Vegas 39 two leg parlay.
Yes, sir. There it is right there. My man Billy Briggs gave the numbers out right there. So I have this last thing that we're gonna do. It's just called legendary questions. I'm gonna just run through them. It's about a minute long. Then we're gonna play some sponsor commercials. So real quick, we're just gonna talk about legendary fights. Who do you think would win? Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Oh gosh, I'm bad at these. I like Chuck Norris. I'll say that.
Okay. Growing up, were you more of an X-Men fan or a DC fan?
0. I'm bad. I don't know any of that.
Star Wars or are you a Star Wars fan?
I've seen Star Wars.
Okay. All right. How about this? Video games. Were you did you play video games or
Mario Kart, if that counts.
There you go. Okay.
Little
Okay.
Wii Sports
Super
action.
Nintendo then, right? Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis?
Super Nintendo.
There you go. Okay, so if we're going to talk about 3 fighters that you feel that you can compete with anywhere you guys go in any organization, if they were on your team, they could be in any weight class. Everybody says they have a dream 5, your favorite 5 basketball players and stuff. What do you think's like the 3 fighters that you guys can take out any other 3 fighters no matter where you go?
Rose.
Hug Rose.
Joanna, Whaley, maybe those 3.
There you go.
Not
Okay,
against each other.
That's a nice 3, and that's the first 3 women's MMA trio that we heard right here that nobody can mess with right here. So I like that trio right there.
I wouldn't mess with that. I wouldn't mess with them.
Hey, guy or woman or anybody, they probably could take down an army. All right, so would you rather be a part owner of the UFC or part owner of Bitcoin?
I don't know anything about Bitcoin. I know it's kind of gaining popularity, so I would say UFC just because I don't know anything about Bitcoin.
Got it.
Good answer.
Got it. Okay, answered them all right. All right, now tell me this: what makes a great donut, and why do you love Pitbull so much?
Easy questions. Donuts, I don't know. That's just my go-to sugar. Maple bacon donuts, it's my favorite. And Pitbull is just they're misunderstood. I feel like a lot of people are scared of them when they don't know anything about them. So it's kind of like I just get suckered into it. I just don't like that situation. I feel like it's our responsibility to educate people in a nice way because no one wants to get yelled at. But pits are not what people think they are, and they just need a chance.
So right now, I'm going to give you the stage right now because I know you do a lot of good work and stuff for like dogs and pit bulls for adoptions and stuff like that. If there's anybody out there that you guys want to shout out or any sponsors or anything like that, any message that you got for the people out there right now, the floor is yours.
Just about dogs. If you have any questions, if you're in Oklahoma City, you want to add a dog to your family, just message me. I'll find you a dog from a rescue, shelter, whatever. So I'm always open to help with that. And as far as sponsors, everything's on my Instagram. So if you follow my Instagram, you'll be up to date with everything on my career. Got
it. Well, I just want to take this time to definitely thank you for stopping by. I know it's been a hectic little time ever since your last fight. We've been trying to schedule it up and everything. So I just want to say thank you for stopping by here at Pub Sports Radio. We're big fans of you. We're going to be pushing you all the way out. Anything that you need going forward, anytime that you're in the San Antonio, Texas area and, you're visiting out there, just stop by Southtown 101. That's our owner of Pub Sports Radio. He said no matter what you want, what you got, who you're with, he's going to take care of everybody, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries, no worries. So from now to next time, hey, guarantee. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying this now for a year and a half. You can
Dead
check her
ass though.
Instagrams and DMs and all the posts. I've been saying it. Next UFC prospect, next UFC star. Guarantee. Next time you guys see Emily Ducote, it's gonna be in the UFC. You heard it
If
here
they
first.
don't know Emily Ducote now, they better find out because she's been a cash cow for the boys. And we're gonna go straight to the window again. I hope you get in there before the year's over.
Thank you. Me too.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for coming on in, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, all right. Yo, 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 you heard it here first, man. Live from her mouth. You know, she's going with Sabina Mazo. She's going with Mackenzie Dern and Loopy. So, you know, I'm
I'm
playing
gonna
those.
tail that 2-leg parlay though, Mills. Minus 101. That shit was not bad at all. Mackenzie Dern, Lupi, Godinez. I was actually looking at how I was gonna play the main event. Well, I'm about to tail Emily Ducote on the money line right there and play those two plays. Minus 101 odds, Mills. I think it could be another successful one. To be honest with you, it might be since Adrian Yanez, since the locker room parlay has cashed. So Emily Ducote, she's definitely on the horizon when it comes to the betting community too.
Yep. Hey, that's why I just wanted to get that out there real quick to let everybody know. So if you guys are listening out there, man, like, hey, that's the parlay to go with right there. You know, appreciate her stopping by. But yeah, Billy Briz, hey, it's another war. You know, I got Mazo, you got Agapova. Hey, we gonna see. You might as well add her in here and get that up to plus 190. And you did it cold. You didn't even include Mazo in the parlay.
Yeah, nah, Mazo's not in the parlay, man. She busted the parlays last time. She's off the list, man. Maria Agapova, I know she was a huge favorite, but she's still on the list, though. We got faith, baby. We got faith.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you coming on out, man. Hey, yo, for everybody out there, if you're just now watching this on the rewatch, man, go ahead, drop your live views, drop your live comments out there right now, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hey, Pop Sports Radio. Don't worry about them other shows. Seconds out, MMA, Pop Sports Radio. We the best out. F the rest out.